Every time I step off the plane in Spain, I become a different person, different routine, different friends, different versions of myself. And when I fly back to California, it happens again. I'm living two completely separate lives. And for the longest time, I thought that meant I was losing myself, but I wasn't. I was just learning how to hold both. And today, we're talking about what to do when you're living a dual life and you don't know which version of you is real. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Allie, and this is the quest for self. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back. Today, we're talking about something I don't hear enough people admit, what it feels like when you're two different people, depending on where you are. And if you're living between countries or even just between different contexts, this one's for you. I moved to Spain in 2016. I built a life there. I bought a home and I loved it. I still love it. The walkability, taking my laptop to a park, walking to cafes, it's always felt like home. But then my mom had a severe stroke. I wanted to be close to her, but my life was in Spain. So I made a decision. And maybe you've made one like this too. I'd live back and forth. And I'm so privileged enough that I can do that. But here's what I didn't expect. Every time I step off the plane, I become someone else. I'm in Spain. I'm walking everywhere. I'm at cafes. My schedule's on European time despite working Pacific Standard Time. My friend group is people I've built a community with here. Then I fly back to California and everything changes. I'm driving everywhere. I'm in the suburbs. Different time zone, different friends, different routine. And maybe you know this feeling. It's like living two completely separate lives. And for a while, I didn't know who I was anymore. Am I the person in Spain or am I the person in California? Which version of me is real? And I'm not the only one asking this. I've met so many people who split their time between places, and we all say the same thing. I feel like I'm living a dual life, and I don't know how to reconcile the two. So, if you're living between two places right now, or even you just feel different at work than at home, different with your family than you do with your friends, you're not broken. You're not inconsistent. You're just human. And here's what's helped me stay grounded when everything around me keeps shifting. Here's what's helped me, and I hope it helps you too. You don't have to reconcile both. You're not losing yourself, you're expanding. You're not two different people. You're one person living in two contexts. And context shapes behavior, and that's normal. For example, in Spain, I walk everywhere because the city is built for that. In California, I drive because I'm in a suburban area. That doesn't make me inconsistent, it makes me adaptable. In Spain, my friends are people I've built a community with. In California, it's a different friend group I've known for a huge portion of my life. It doesn't mean I'm abandoning anyone. It means I've built multiple communities. And honestly, that's rare. Most people don't have that. But here's the part that matters: you need anchors, things that ground you no matter where you are. Because if everything changes every time you move, you will feel untethered. And that's where the identity crisis comes from. So you find the constants, the things that stay the same no matter which country or place you're in. For me, it's my podcast, it's my work, it's my morning routine, matchas, journaling, moving my body, and of course, Mia, my dog. Those are the things that remind me who I am when everything else is shifting. The location changes, the people change. My core, that stays. And the other thing I had to accept, it's okay to be a different version of yourself in different places. You're allowed to be more social in one place, and you're allowed to be more introverted in another. You're allowed to thrive in walkable cities and struggle in suburban areas. That's not duality. That's just being human. The goal isn't to be the same person everywhere. The goal is to stay grounded in who you are at your core, even when the surface shifts. So, here's what I want you to do this week. If you're living between two places or even just feeling like you're different people in different contexts, one, identify your anchors. What are 3 to 5 things that stay the same no matter where you are? Maybe it's your morning routine, your work, a hobby, a person you stay connected to always, no matter where you are. Write them down and protect them. Two, stop trying to make both lives identical. You don't need the same routine in both places. You don't need to replicate friendships. Let each place have its own rhythm. That's not fragmentation, that's richness. Three, ground yourself in transitions. When you move between places, give yourself a ritual, something that signals I'm still me, even though everything around me just changed. For me, it's journaling on the plane. For you, it might be something else, but find it. Because living a dual life isn't about splitting yourself in two. It's about recognizing that you're expansive enough to hold multiple worlds. And that's a gift. You're not losing yourself by living in two places. You're just learning to hold more. And the version of you in one place and the version of you in the other, they're both real. They're both you. You don't have to choose. You just have to stay grounded. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Quest for Self. If this episode resonated with you and you have a few seconds, please give it a like. Share your feedback with me in the comments section. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you know someone who might need to hear the message, share it with them. Your support means a lot to me and it helps others find this content. You could find me at The Quest for Self on all platforms. And one thing I always want you to remember is you don't have to earn your way to a better version of yourself. You're already becoming that person with every choice you make. Till next time.